It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona. My special guest, Fernando Antonio Salguero. You got to help me out, Fernando. Go ahead and say your name for me so everybody knows how it's properly pronounced.
Salguero.
Salguero.
G as in like guerrilla.
Okay,
warfare.
Salguero. Very cool. Now, let's go ahead and talk about your meetup first. Now, your meetup, how did that come about? I mean, we'll get into your personal revelation.
No.
That, but
okay,
let's go ahead and promote that.
After leaving the left-right paradigm in politics, I was searching for some outlet for my energies and my talents. And I was doing some, I follow a shamanic path myself, and I was doing some shamanic journey work, and a vision came to me of easing the suffering that is to come. Ever since I was a child, I'd had...
okay, you can't go on without saying, tell me what the heck a shamanic is.
Do you know what have you ever
I have no idea.
The role of shaman? Well, okay, this it's a spiritual path that it turns up in many cultures all over the world, mostly indigenous. Others would know them as medicine man or holy man or whatever it is. It's those who set themselves apart from the society, the tribe that they live in, seek knowledge on a metaphysical as well as physical level.
Got it. So you're doing
that's probably another whole show there, Ernie.
Well, no, I've known a lot of people, from Oriental cultures, and certainly Japanese. They call it Bushido, or a lot of other things. I've had shows on this. So it's an inner journey that you're going to try and center yourself to make sure that your efforts are towards positive purposes and effective and not being controlled by somebody else. I get it. Okay. So you're going through that, and you come to what realization?
So the realization that I have been prepping. I've been a closet prepper for many years, always keeping everyone at bay, not letting anyone know what's going on in my basement and garage, and that sort of thing. But the vision came to me of easing the suffering and specifically empowering women, or empowering the feminine aspects of humanity. So often prepping is very male dominated. It's all God and guns and cans of beans. And what Survive and Thrive is a group of professionals that now we're at about 430 in our region, and we're made up of doctors, nurses, pharmacists, mechanics. Really just every profession that you can think of. But they're all professional people. Some folks know more about some things than others, and so we're a collective, and we get together and we have free seminars, generally twice per month, every other week. And we get together and usually pack in roughly 70, 80 people and teach basic skills. So again, whether it's 1 week, it'll be water purification and storage, and how to effectively remove contaminants, and what to be aware of, and how to make your own bleach solution, and these sorts of things.
Well, we're looking at a lot of pictures from your different events here, and it looks like a bunch of families.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Well, the whole thing is geared to be family-centered. We work to make it accessible for families with school-age kids, so that we have meetups where they're early enough in the day, generally on the weekends, where it's not too late for bedtime. Makes it more accessible for working moms and single moms to be able to get involved. We have between 40 and 50% female participation with each and every one of our meetups. And that's something, that as well as the diversity of our group are the two things that I personally am really driven and to maintain and very proud of, frankly.
You know, it's interesting that you would bring this up, the feminine aspect, because there was just an article in the last, it was this week, a couple of days ago, from Survival Blog. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, sure,
site.
Rolls, absolutely.
So we put a lot of stuff up there from him, and a lot of really good stuff. And I'm sure we got a couple of articles today. And one of it was, I remember an article written by a woman that said, yeah, my husband's always been this prepping kind of thing. I'm like, yeah. You want to go play Army, or you want to, go camping, whatever, I'll go, and didn't have much of an interest in it until she started to come to the realization of just how vulnerable her family was to power and technology and a lot of things that are going on. And she started to see her role as a mother and what she brings to it, and how important her role is in keeping the family together and people happy and fed and all. And she's going, I don't have some of these modern tools. My smartphone goes down. I don't have electricity, or the refrigerator breaks, or man, we're screwed. So she started really, as she saw the threat looming, and her capacity without technology is greatly diminished. She needed to develop more skills. She needed to take seriously what it was her husband was advocating. And she wrote this, and I kind of got the impression, my initial reaction was, I don't know, sounds like her husband wrote it. but she did make a very good point that the woman needs to have these skills.
Absolutely.
Because then you're dragging them.
And here's the thing, we're not inventing anything. We're just bringing, for the most part, we're bringing things back from the past that our ancestors, our grandmothers, did more canning than of foods or drying of food and jerking of meat and vegetables. Our grandparents or great grandparents did a heck of a lot more than that than most folks do today. Most folks are completely grid dependent. So the key with our meetup is that we focus in on the psychology always, because it's always been our DNA and, frankly, what's between our ears, the consciousness that has evolved and has kept the species going. So we're not reinventing any wheels here, but we are working to keep things in perspective. So we focus on things like understanding the role of sovereignty, your role of sovereignty, self-determination, self-government, that aspect of it, and self-reliance. And we work to make sure that folks understand the role of the grid, what the grid truly is. Transportation systems, trains and trucks, getting food and supplies, raw materials to stores and what have you. Electricity, heat in the wintertime.
When we come back, we're going to get into some of the details and some of the more important things that you've taught people. We'll be back. We're going on a break here in just a little bit, but I wanted to say one thing. I remember during, as a young man, you're watching the movies, and it's always the helpless woman, no, go without me. I'll be okay. It's all right. Leave me. And then, you got to drag them along and so on. I love it when they have the strong woman. It's Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider or something, or, the women in Raiders of the Lost Ark, or just strong women. Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis. I mean, strong women. Yeah, that's what I want my women to be like.
Absolutely.
That's what I want my children to learn. That's how I want them to think, because you don't want to have to be dragging them when you're in a situation you can't. Everybody has to pull their own weight. That's what we're learning.
That's how I raised my daughter.
That's how we're raising the generation next. And we'll help when we come back.